This content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill no one.
Wait a second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin versus the World. I'm SeptumSin. There's no Kotobuki Jake this week, except for maybe the vlogcast. We're going to try and set one up for tonight. We'll see how that goes, but it's Memorial Day. Hey, we eat some hot dogs or whatnot. So, as per usual, well, or what's going to be usual, we are addressing this thing here, which hopefully you can see a lot more clearly now. The last time I did not do this method of capture. I'm not relying on the online filtering and streaming process. I'm directly recording from my computer. And when Jake is with me next week, we're hoping to do this. So it's going to be basically my ratings. I'm trying something slightly different. So we're going to be taking a look at these one thing at a time. So before we do that, no Gundam this week. But we do have some beautiful DVD footage.
We got the bits of yesterday. 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 We're dreaming pixels and 2D sprites. We're longing for the days, we're playing all night. We're throwing controllers, we're blowing in games. ADS, Dane says, we got the bits of yesterday. 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 The burning bushes and blinking red lights. The star punches to finish the fight. We got the power, not the glove. We got the bits of yesterday. 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 We got the power. We got the power. We got the power. We got the power. We got the bits of yesterday. 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 We're dreaming pixels and 2D sprites. We're longing for the days, we're playing all night. We're throwing controllers, we're blowing in games. ADS, Dane says, we got the bits of yesterday. 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 The burning bushes and blinking red lights, the star punches, the finish of fight. We got the power, not the glove. We got the bits.
Alright there, so let's take a look at what we've got here. So, we're going to start with Working Man. So, Working Man looks like something of a drama movie. I haven't really seen much on this. But factory closure threatens a small Rust Belt town. One older factory worker continues going to his former job every day despite the shutdown. This looks like a very interesting film, I must say. I am quite curious about that, indeed. So let's see here. Where are you? That's one thing about this is it does not show me where we are. Oh, there we go. We're at the end. So that's Working Man. So let's take a look at our list. Find Working Man down there. There it is. So definitely curious about that one. I would get it if the price is right. You know, it's something that is worthwhile, most definitely, for me. So let's see. How are we looking over there? Okay, yep, so we can see each other. So also, I'm going to try at the very end of this to save this list so you can see it all nice and clear at the end. I'll plop it right up there at the last bit, and of course make it the cover. So again, we're going to see what comes at those other things there. Okay, cat. Alright, so our next one is going to be Witches in the Woods. It's a 2019 film. Jill, a tenacious UMass freshman, abandons her studies for an off-the-grid snowboarding trip. When their SUV mysteriously becomes lost, temperatures fall and the group dynamic unravels as a virtual and then literal witch hunt begins. Again, interesting. I'm not hugely there, but the cover art looks pretty cool. I do think that's an interesting. It just looks kind of cool the way it is there. I would definitely say curious, curiousa and curiousa. So. Maybe the price is right. I came across it. Now, Watchmen, one of our first big ones here. Set in an alternate history where the masked vigilantes are treated as outlaws, Watchmen embraces nostalgia of the original groundbreaking graphic novel and same time while attempting to break new ground of their own. So Season 1 is getting a release, and that's pretty darn cool. These series are great. I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's not a long-running series, so it's not a huge investment. I really want to get this. I'm not going to be getting it right away, but it is high priority. So yes, please. And for those of you who are looking at this, these are the ratings, of course. Me and Jake kind of hit in the middle ground normally, but since it's just me, these are just how I feel. This may not be how you feel, but this is my priority list to see where I would be as far as wanting to get this or not. So we have hell no, will never own. I don't care if it's given to me, it's leaving the collection. Meh, no interest but willing to own. Someone gave it to me, I would definitely take it. If it's extremely cheap, like $1 maybe, I would get it. Otherwise, no. Curious would get it the price is right. If it's low enough, I'll get it. Just, if it's like one of these things, it's on sale, I'll see it in the Walmart. Grab it up. Yes, please. I will get it eventually, but I can wait for the price to drop. And then priority, doesn't matter what the price is, I'm getting it as soon as possible. So, back to our next up. Valhalla Rising. Forced for some time to be a fighting slave, a pagan warrior escapes his captors with a boy and joins a group of crusaders on their quest to the Holy Land. Well, this is interesting. It really is on that. And you know what? I just realized, why do I need StreamYard for this? I am, because at this time, I mean, you're not actually having to see me. You're looking at my screen entirely. This is a direct, so, well, I'm going to leave it on because I don't want to mess it up, but I don't really need to throw that out. So this one looks interesting to me. So let's see here. So that's that Valhalla Rising. So Valhalla Rising looks interesting, but it's nothing I'm going to get anytime soon. But I would take it if somebody gave it to me. So there you go. All right, next up. Urban Cowboy, getting that Blu-ray release. Bud is a young man from the country who learns about life and love in a Houston bar. I've heard some fun stuff. It's had some awards love, and definitely looks like one of those good films. I mean, James Bridges' screenplay, John Travolta in it. It's one I'm definitely curious about. It's not one I have to own, but it is one that's up there. So, pretty cool cover right there. All right, next up on our list, a must-own Tokyo Godfathers. On Christmas Eve, 3 homeless people residing in Tokyo. Middle-aged alcoholic Jen, teenage runaway Miyuki, and former drag queen Hana were looking through a dumpster for Christmas gifts when cries from a baby drew their attention. Believing this was a gift from God, Hana, not being able to have a child of her own, vowed to take care of the abandoned baby girl. They together began a search for the baby's mother. Through Christmas Eve and the end of the year, they encounter a variety of characters and find that they've never seen before. So, again, it's got an excellent rating for Anime News Network. So, my preference for anime is Anime News Networks for ratings, and of course IMDb. I know some people like Rotten Tomatoes. Everybody has their preference. You do what you do. So, with this one, I love this. I have it myself. It is one I go for every Christmas / New Year's Eve. So, with that being said, that one is, if I didn't have it, I would be getting this upgrade like right now. So to me, that's a priority one. I mean, if I didn't own it already, I would be getting it like, whew, it's mine, because it's a must. You need to have it in your collection. There's no avoiding that. It's just that good. All right, so this next one is the Blackout. Kind of looks like a Starship Troopers in a way. Life on Earth is rapidly destroyed, except for a small area in Eastern Europe. Boy, that's a huge description, isn't it? Well, it looks okay. I mean, I watch it. 2019 release, 6.0. I'd watch that, I guess, but I'm not going to, I probably wouldn't grab it or anything, but if it came to me, I wouldn't refuse it. I'd say it's a meh for me. And we're going to move on. All right, Closeness. In the 1990s, which also, by the way, is Tesnota, a squalid town of Nalchik. Poor young Jewish couple is kidnapped and a grievous ransom is demanded, as bitter resentments and cruel dilemmas come to light, magnifying the small community's grave predicament. I know that Jake would be like, yeah, I gotta get this. This is a pretty artsy one. It's got some good awards love right there. Let's see if I can find a country of origin on that. Yep, Russia. So that would definitely pique his interest in this. But for me, I'm more on the curious end of it. I mean, if I see it in a store and it's pretty cheap, I might grab it. It's kind of cool looking. He's going to be like, no! Now, something fun is there's going to be a collection that Sentai is releasing for Tamako Market. It's what is it called here? I've got my notes here. So many things out this week. One person said this is so dry a time for releases during this. Like, no. Tamako Market Love Story Collection is what it's called. So Tamako Market's a pretty fun series. It's about this young girl whose family has been making mochi, and it's all about this in the shopping arcade. It has a really cool and cutesy opening. It's a really fun story. I really enjoyed it. It's a really good series. It's got at least a very good rating there, and this also shows at least very good for this, which is the movie that's kind of that sequel. And she's moving to Tokyo to study it Mishi's leaves Tokyo for study. Before he leaves, he finds the courage to finally confess his love to Tamako. However, Tamako is taken by surprise and unsure how to respond. So it's kind of a continuation. I haven't seen this movie, but I do own it. And again, it looks like fun. Most assuredly, it does look like fun. And I really love Tamako Market. This would have, if I did not own it already, I probably would have prioritized it, so it would be a priority. And it's great you get both of those like right into one sector. And if there's a good sale on this, I might very well upgrade to thin down my collection, especially since my Tamako Market is a DVD copy. So, moving on. 501st Joint Fighter Wing Takeoff. This is a 12-episode small series that's a sequel to the movie of Takeoff, which is another Strike Witches series. Only one I don't have in this series is Brave Witches and the movie that this spins off because it's not available. I will probably be getting Brave Witches soon. I do have this on order because it's relatively cheap. So because of that, it does become a priority, though I'm not sure I'm sure it's more in the yes please for category, but because I did pre-order it, I am going to go ahead and put that as a priority set there. Now, this next one is called Star Trek Short Treks, which is a bunch of like short films featuring the characters of the storyline from the Star Trek Discovery series. I haven't seen anything with Star Trek Discovery. It's on my list to look at eventually, so this would also be an eventual. I mean, anything Star Trek is on a list of I will see it and I will get it. I like a lot of the Star Trek stuff. It's just getting it down to the right price. So most definitely, yes, please. I really do want to check out Discovery. I've heard a lot of good things about that series. All right, next up, Sound Euphonium the Movie. Our Promise, A Brand New Day. This is an awesome series. It is an aggravating thing that Pony Can got a hold of it, and now you can't even get the original first season unless you get extremely lucky, because I don't even see it on eBay. The first two, it's in 3 parts. The first season is released in America in 3 parts. The third part is available. The second 2 parts are out of print, and unfortunately, just you can't get them. They just don't exist. So I just don't know what to do with it. But yeah, this one is this one's a continuation of the second series, and it is a fun thing. It's all about these people in a high school band, a concert band. So if you're ever a band geek, this would be a must for you. I really enjoyed the series. I've got the European release of the first season and the legit release of this. Well, they're both legit, but so if you can, just go get the European releases. They are better if you get a region-free player. They're better price-wise. And also, Liz and the Bluebird is a must-own. So if you want to understand more from that, you can get all the nuances. But this continues the main story. And yes, that is a priority. It is not being released by Pony Can, which makes it an even bigger priority as far as I'm concerned. All right, next up, Rogue Warfare: The Hunt. The next eyesore of the Rogue Trilogy. Okay. I guess the next movie. Daniel's been captured, and it's up to the team to find them before it's too late. 2.9. Such a great rating there. I got nothing against this. I never saw the original. If it landed in my collection, I would most definitely watch it eventually. But I've got no, I've got no, drive. It's a meh for me. Definitely a meh for me that time. So, robotics notes. I've heard about this. This has got an Essentials release, and it's of course, a 22 episode series. It is very good on many occasions. I've been looking at this over and over again, but I've always skipped over it because it's been relatively short overall. So, it's about this robotics club, and, slice of life, robotics club. I really did, I have an interest in it. I'm not going, I must have it, but most definitely curious. And this makes it even more curious because, it's on, what do they call it? It's on Essentials, so it's going to be very cheap. cheap. Alright. Speaking of ours, Robert the Bruce, the story of the nobleman turned outlaw hero who was crowned the King of Scots in the 14th century. Looks interesting, 5.3, so it's about average in film-wise. I'm not one of those people who says, if it's not an 8 or higher, it's not worth watching. So those people if it's not got an 80 or higher in Metacritic score, it means it's crap. No. No, it doesn't. So it's got me curious. I'm not going to be watching it anytime soon. Matter of fact, I'm not going to be seeking out, so it's more in the meh line, I guess. So yeah, it's a meh for me. Moving on. Rewind. Digging through the vast collection of his father's home videos, a young man reconstructs the unthinkable story of his boyhood and exposes a vile abuse posed through generations. This looks like some fun. It really does. 7.9, so very good rating. Got some awards love there. It was a U.S. film, so it looks like a very good film. Definitely has me curious. I will have to go with curious on that one. Alright, next up, Phantom, Requiem for the Phantom. Again, it's another Essentials release, so you can get it pretty cheaply. A spate of mafia assassinations occurs in America. The work of the mysterious organization named Inferno, Phantom, is their most strongest and capable assassin. So this is also related to Phantom the Animation. So this is a TV series, and I believe Phantom the Animation might have an Essential as well. So it might be worth checking out. It's got an excellent rating. I would say I'm definitely curious on that one. Alright. Next up, Peppermint. 5 years after her husband and daughter are killed in a senseless act of violence, a woman comes back from a self-imposed exile to seek revenge against those responsible. Nice 6.5 movie. I don't know. Something about those always gets me going. I enjoy those, no-brain action fest. I'm definitely curious. I find it for a good price, at $10 or something. I'll just snatch it up, I don't know why I make a motion there. You can't see me at the moment. So let's see here. Boop, 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 ba-doo. All right. Back up to where we were. Okay, so Parasite is getting a 4K release, which is freaking awesome. I must say, when it comes to this, it just is a kind of cool movie. It was a Best Picture winner. Huge film about this family that ends up kind of taking over the services for this rich family in order to get as much money as possible, but the tables get turned. It was huge. It was a big upset. If you haven't seen Parasite, you need to see Parasite, and I believe I speak for Jake saying that this, if you don't have it, is a priority. You gotta get it. I got it on Blu-ray. I'm happy with that, but if I didn't have it, it would be mine. Oh yes, it would be mine. Alright, next up. One Cut of the Dead. This is a Korean film, it looks like. Things go badly for a hack director and a film crew shooting a low-budget zombie movie in an abandoned World War II Japanese facility where they're attacked by real zombies. Ooh, this looks fun. Oh man, I've never heard. Is this thing? I've never heard of it. It's got some awards love. 7.7. Ooh. You have got my curiosity up. Oh yes, definitely on that curiosity list. I see this for a good price. I'm snatching it. Matter of fact, heck with that. I am going to get this. This is going to be fun. It's going on my wish list. That looks like fun. Alright, next up is a Non-Biori Vacation, the movie in this series. Our vacation is drawing to an end when Shuguru wins a free trip to Okinawa. All 5 students of the Goka Branch School are excited to end their vacation with a bang, along with the Konomi and their teacher and the candy store owner. Everybody goes to Okinawa on a free 3-day trip. So it's interesting. I didn't know there was a third. Okay. The third series is the sequel to that, which means we have at least another one. And there's Repeat, and then there's the original, and this is it's a slice of life series, and I have the first 2 seasons, and I have it pre-ordered, and it is one that I am big into, so I am going to put that as a priority this time around. Alright, next is a series called Misei's Story. 26 years after Misei High conquered the Koshin, a promising pitcher-catcher battery was formed in the middle school. So this is a one of those baseball ones. Of course, it's got a good rating here on Anime News Network. But it's a baseball series, so meh. I'm not going to turn it down because it could be really good, but I'm not really going to... Again, if it comes to me and it comes to me extremely cheap, maybe. But not really at the moment. So next up, Let's Kill Uncle. Boy, that sounds fun, doesn't it? A 12-year-old orphan who just inherited a fortune is trapped on an island with his uncle, former British intelligence commander, who intends to kill him. Ooh, that looks like fun. If I saw that, it's a pretty cool looking set. I don't know if you got it. I like that yellow cover. Definitely on the curious list. Most assuredly so. 6.0. So not bad. It's a comedy horror. You can't go wrong with that. Jaws is getting a 4K. Enough said. Awesome film. Must own. There's no doubt about it. If you don't own Jaws, yes, priority, get. Who knows, I might even upgrade mine. I don't know. I've got the movie separate on DVD. It probably does need an upgrade. And I have all the rest on one set because they don't need an upgrade. Alright, so next up. So we've got here this series called Hinsuki. Now, I'm trying to remember if this was a multi-parter. There was one that was a multi-parter. No. I love the whole title here. Are you willing to fall in love with a pervert as long as she's a cutie? Boring and Boring and normal high school student Kiryu Kiki finds an anonymous love letter addressed to him. In the process of investigating who could be his Cinderella, he discovers every candidate is uniquely perverted and desperately interested in having him participate in their perversion. Okay, so this looks like it would be a fun series. It's got a good rating. It's probably nothing special, but if I saw that on sale, I would definitely grab it. So curious indeed. Very curious about that one. Alright, Harley Quinn is getting a first season release, which is cool because I didn't want to go for the DC Universe streaming. I've heard so many good things about this, that this is supposed to be really fun, really entertaining. I think it's only like 12 episodes for the first season. Let me see here. 13 episodes. So it's well worth it, in my opinion. I really do want to get this. I want it in my collection. I do have it pre-ordered, so on that priority. A lot of priorities today. So let's move on. Glengarry Glen Ross. An examination of the machinations behind the scenes at a real estate office. Boy, sounds exciting. But it's a 1992 film, 7.7. Al Pacino, Alec Baldwin's got one heck of a cast. Jack Lemmon nominated for an Oscar right there. It makes it on my curious list. Not necessarily going to have to buy it, but it's a pretty cool looking thing. I will have to check it out eventually. If price is right, I'm getting that. Alright, Extraordinary. This just looks fun. Rose, mostly sweet and lonely Irish driving instructor, must use her supernatural talents to save the daughter of Martin, a mostly sweet and mostly sweet and lonely from a washed-up rock star who is using her in a satanic pact to reignite his fame. Oh, that's fun. That sounds extremely fun. And the cover alone, that's got me curious. Doom Annihilation. Yeah, this is the sequel to the Doom movie, which was okay. It's kind of a guilty pleasure. This is boring. It's about they build this Hellgate to help them transport, and all things supposedly break loose. Some zombies. I watched it, and I'm just like, I will eventually be getting it, but I am not in a hurry. I'm so not in a hurry for this. This one has me conflicted. It's very close to one of those hell no's, and I would say it would be if you weren't like me and had to have everything in a series. I'm really looking here because I passed it up for $5 on Blu-ray. So, if it's lower than that, though, that's definitely in the meh bin. If you haven't watched it, stay away from it. It's not even fun bad. It's just like boring bad. 3.6 is too high. Demon Lord Retry. Akira Ono is a regular guy who works at a company that manages an online game. He often plays the game as his character Mao, Dark Lord, but one day when he logs off, he is whisked into a game's fantasy world as his character there meets a one-legged girl and begins his adventures alongside her. But as he is a powerful Dark Lord, various nations and holy maidens journey to defeat him as he stirs up trouble everywhere he goes. Interesting. It's ranked as good. I'm not in any hurry, but it's interesting. So yeah, I think it'll be a curious one. It's gotta be curious. All right. Debt collectors. This year, actually. A pair of collectors are thrust into an explosively dangerous situation, chasing down various lowlifes while also evading a vengeful kingpin. Sounds like decent fun. I'm not going to be seeking this out, and in truth, I'm not all that interested in it. But I want to put it next to... Well, yeah, fine. I'll put it here. I mean, it really is one that I wouldn't pay for necessarily a lot of money, but I would definitely try it out if it was given to me. Clickbait. A college student who will do just about anything for internet fame is kidnapped by a fan, and her reluctant roommate is the only one who can save her in this horror satire of popularity culture. Okay, that sounds like fun. It really does. I mean, it's got a rating, but okay number of wins and nominations, so that's not too bad there. Let's go curious. All right. Blood. Cat Hogan returns to the West Meath upon his mother's sudden death. She has an accident at home and died. Or was it an accident? Blood is about old secrets, old betrayals, and mind games. This is series 2, so it's kind of, it finishes it up for those of you collecting it. I am not. I would check it out if it was given to me, but it's really a meh for me. I don't really have a lot of interest in it. But, these English series, there are a lot of them. Acorn Media. Beanpole. 7.1, so not bad. Dilda is the title for it. 1945 Leningrad WW2 has devastated the city, demolishing its buildings and leaving its citizens in tatters. Physically and mentally, 2 young women search for the meaning and hope in the struggle to rebuild their lives amongst the ruins. That's kind of interesting there. Well, most assuredly in the curious area. So, next up is Aria, the Origination. So, Aria is, again, we've talked about this as it's been released. This comes with, of course, the Origination, which is the last of the seasons. That's 13 episodes, but it also comes with the Arietta OVA and the Aria, the Avenir, which, that's some decent, so you get a decent count of episodes. It's 3 OVAs there, and Arietta has another, at least one over there. So, again, you get some good bang for your buck. As has been said before, I think we put all the other Arias into priority, so we are going to continue that trend as we finally get it wrapped up again. So those new releases, next week it'll be done. And then we danced. 2019, a passionate coming-of-age tale is set amidst the conservative confines of the modern Tbilisi. A film followed Merab, a competitive dancer who is thrown off balance by the arrival of Iraqi, a fellow male dancer with a rebellious streak. So let me look where this is. I mean, 7.9 is pretty good. Some real good awards love there. So let's take a look. Ooh, Sweden, Georgia, and France. So some pretty interesting countries there. That has got my curiosity up, most assuredly so. So, most definitely. Only 3 more to go? Wow. Abe. Abe is a 12-year-old boy from Brooklyn who cooks to unite his half of Israel and half Palestinian family, but everything goes wrong. Okay, that just looks fun. That looks like just this interesting little film. Not a big rating, but that's all right, Abe. You can be on my curious grouping there. All right, next up is A Clear Shot. The Leisure Guys electric store erupts into chaos as 4 young Vietnamese gunmen storm the premises, loaded for bear. What started as a normal day in the shopping quickly turns into the... Boy, let's see here. Let's see. Norway quickly turns into the largest host situation to this day. That sounds interesting. Now, let's see here. Oh yeah, Mix, by the way, is a part 2, so it's only one half of the series. Just wanted to let y'all know about that. But yeah, that one, meh. And then the last but not least, 1BR. Sarah tries to start anew in LA, but her neighbors are not what they seem. It's interesting, but nothing I'm seeking out, definitely. So again, meh. So this is all that we have here. As I said, Mix is only going to be half of it. It's not going to change my interest in it because I think it's still in the meh. But especially meh now that it's like $80 to get the whole thing. So with that being said, I hope you all have enjoyed this. And of course, if you like this format, click that like button. Of course, you can help us out by hitting that subscribe and sharing around. Let us know what you're interested in and what's coming out. Did I make a mistake? Is there something here that I left out that makes these things different in your rating? Like, is Doom Annihilation truly a priority? Let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Goodbye.